Right, welcome back guys. Time for drive-by-wire part 2. Looking at this here behind me under the cover, the 4-edge with the drive-by-wire side of things, obviously the actuator. Now I'm going to get it to move a set of ITBs. But before I start on that, I'm just going to give you guys a quick update. Obviously been quite quiet the last couple of months after Storm Eunice rolled through and took the roof of the workshop off. So keeping it very, very simple. They've not put a roof back on for whatever reason. I think it's to do with money from the farmer that owns the land and the farm, obviously. So that's not happened. So I'm not going back. So I've been making this home, or more homely, because this is home. Didn't have a lot of power in here. Didn't have lighting like I have got now. Got decent lighting up. So I've basically spent the last couple of months kind of obviously getting the power sorted, getting the lighting sorted, obviously just generally trying to keep get things sort of organised, you know, get things put away or brought back from where they'd ended up, obviously because stuff went here, there and everywhere. So yeah, so I'm now pretty much in the spot to get cracking again. So obviously been tinkering away on the 3D printing side of things with the drive-by-wire actuator in the meantime. I've been finally got my wheels blasted and I've just started prepping a couple of those. Down there I've got a set of 215/55 R13s to tuck under the back and see how they finally fit. And one thing else I have done is so I've had to basically drop the studs out, put a new set of studs in and wheel spacers, because when I built the car originally, so when I did the original axle build, had the axle shortened for 8Js under standard arches, now got, you know, widened arches by 15mm. So new set of studs, dual spacer, space it all back out by 15mm to keep the wheel nice and flush with the arch. So yeah, small bits and bobs, you know, small gains here and there, but hopefully be getting cracking on with the wire and the rest of it this year. So yeah, hopefully a lot more updates and hopefully a bit more time down here. Also with Kieran giving me a hand. So yeah, so that side, let's get into it. Right, this is where I am at the moment. Actuator's all mounted up. I've still got linkage to sort out, but I'm happy with this now. So it's taken quite a lot of time to get to this point. I've got like 7 or 8 versions of bracketry to get to this point. But let's talk about the actuator real quick. This is a BMW S54, so 2.5, 3 litre, whatever it is, straight 6, naturally aspirated, ITB'd on drive-by-wire. It's about 200 quid for the actuator. Well, I picked it up for 200 quid. A lot cheaper than the AT Power or the Gen V drive-by-wire actuators. I think they're about 600 quid. So yeah, it's a much cheaper option if you're going to go for a conversion like this, with, you know, multiple ITBs. You know, whether it's straight 4, straight 6 or whatever, really good choice of actuator for this. And like I say, and I've got a couple of guys that have used these in other drive-by-wire conversions. One was a 4AG, I think the other one was I think it was a Porsche, flat 6 actually. He had a bit more of a tricky linkage arrangement, but he made it work. So yes, that's kind of it. It's got TPS on the end here, and obviously once I'm done, there'll be another TPS on the end here as well. So that covers off the ECU side of things, keeps the ECU happy. So in terms of the bracketry, and it's a bit difficult to see, basically originally there was some studs, bolt holes, basically they're cast into the manifold that come down. There's 3 at this end, and that's all there is actually. No, sorry, there's one here. So basically a bolt hole like this. There's 3 down this end. And what I've done is I've used them as the pickup point to mount the actuator, and I've obviously included, you can see it back here, additional bit of material just to pick up the bolt hole for the actual intake manifold itself, just to kind of reduce the amount of flex once that's bolted in. That's not really going to move too much. This whole thing sort of, you know, it's got a bit of play in it at the moment, a bit of flex, but once that's all machined, bolted down, we shouldn't have a problem. So that's that. So how do we get to that point? I'm going to take you over to the workbench and walk you through these steps. Right, so this is everything. This is all of the development that's taken me to get to my starting point over here. So this was like version 1 of the base plate, version 2, version 3, 4, 5, 6. That's obviously the bit to then start mounting this up to pick up the actual intake manifold, and then version 7, which is kind of basically all inclusive, and that kind of led to my version 8, which is actually bolted up to the rest of the actuator mount. So you can see here, if I dodgily, oh there we go. Right, so basically the 3 bolt holes for picking up the intake manifold. I had originally intended on having this as 2-piece because it was easy to machine, but I've been concerned about the amount of flex by having 2 parts. So this final one that's on here is a single piece, which is basically these 2 parts combined, and obviously you can see here the extra mount. So kind of quite a long way in moving from here to here. A lot of jiggery pokery trying to get the actuator moved to the right position, obviously to deal with linkage clearance issues that I've had, and obviously that ties in with what's over here. So this is the second half of this, once again versions 1 through to 6. This once again was still allowing for a bit of bolt on, but I'd shifted the actuator over a bit more, and then obviously I moved from having this kind of I don't know, I call it a C-shape, U-shape arrangement to having the fully fledged square section with the cutout with this extra bit of brace. And once again, it was all to do with flex. I just, when sort of playing around with it, you know, I was conscious about the amount of flex between these 2 bolting holes on the actuator, and obviously considering the fact that it's bolted together. So I just kind of went, you know what, I'll put a bit of extra material in, bit of cost into the day, but it works. So yeah, that's where we're at. Right, so the last part of this I need to figure out is this linkage here, and all this lot. So initially, obviously, I wanted to stick with the 25mm centre to centre on this arm, but it doesn't work up here. So obviously, I've got a 3D printed one here at the moment. I'm going to make this out of steel next, just to kind of finish this arm off, which hopefully you guys will see me do in a second. And then obviously down here, same thing as again. I've got to cut this kind of, if I can, right on the corner of the arm here, or maybe a bit further back, just extend this arm out. So this is sort of sitting somewhere about there. So 40mm as well. So that'll be 40mm total centre center, and yeah, we should be cooking on gas. So I'll cut to me making up the arms, and hopefully that'll be the drive-by-wire conversion complete by the wiring. So yeah, keep watching and I'll show you this bit next. So here we have it. This is the throttle arm. As you can see what I've done, I've just added the extra bit of plate in the middle. It's not quite perfect, I'll be honest, but good penetration for the weld, so yeah, hopefully that'll do the job. So that needs to go back on, covered it up, back on this spindle here. I just need to file that out a little bit because it is quite a tight fit. To make it a little bit easier, because I want to test fit it up, and then once I'm happy with it, I'll clean it up properly and then paint it. So yeah, that's that. Yeah, on to the next bit, which is doing something about that and making that in metal. So right, catch you in a second.
The next morning.
Right, got a bit carried away, and that's another day, and what I ended up doing was I've made up the arm for the actual ITBs itself. So this is the original arm in here. I was going to put a new offset plate in, but I ended up just basically just grinding a pair and welding a bit of plate on. So a bit thicker, so I think it's like 3mm plate. This is like 2.5, but it's the correct distance. So 40mm, same as that is 40mm from that centre of that bolt to the centre of that one. It's the same up here. So weld it all on. It's still not cleaned up. You can still see it's all square and whatnot. So I'm gonna take it back off, make it all nice and neat. But I put the linkage on as well, and it works. Don't worry about them not being synced up. That's adjustment that I haven't actually done since putting these back together. So that needs doing, but look at that. Drive-by-wire. Simple as that. Right, that's it, guys. I'm done. Drive-by-wire part 2 is complete. So there's a bit of tidying up to do. There's a bit of grinding, a bit of painting, just kind of making it look all neat and whatnot. But the engineering is done. It works. I'm happy with it. It's opening and it's closing. Not much more to it really. It's always need to get the bracket that holds the actuator on machined, but yeah, happy days. It works. I'm happy with that. It's taken since the last video, a year and a bit to get to this point, and just to get it all finished up, and obviously a bit of extra enthusiasm now to push on and get this done, and it's done. Happy days. So I'm gonna call it quits there, guys, and hopefully the next time you see this drive-by-wire actuator and, well, the engine will be when it's wired, and hopefully, fingers crossed, actually working as drive-by-wire. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll keep you updated as I move through into the wire and everything, and we'll go from there. So cheers, guys. Thank you.